Welcome to In the Know with the Stafford SO, a podcast of the Stafford County Sheriff's Office that focuses on cops, community, and everything in between. If you want to know more about law enforcement life and times just south of our nation's capital, then you're in the right place. Stay tuned for In the Know with the Stafford SO.
Welcome to episode 2 of In the Know with the Stafford SO. I am Kathy Volbrecht, your host for today. Thank you for tuning in. Today we are going to talk about starting a law enforcement career with the Stafford County Sheriff's Office. I would like to welcome Captain Jason Dembowski, who is in charge of the Sheriff's Office's Professional Standards Unit, which manages the recruitment and hiring of staff for the Sheriff's Office, including new deputy sheriffs. Captain Dembowski, thank you for being here today. Before we start talking about law enforcement as a career, I do want to take a few minutes to recognize that this week is National Police Week across the nation. National Police Week is an annual series of events that pay honor to those in law enforcement who gave the ultimate sacrifice. It also recognizes their survivors. Here at the Stafford Sheriff's Office, 2 of our own sacrificed their lives in the line of duty, and we want to recognize them right now. In 1980, 26-year-old Ford Tyson Humphrey was killed by a gunman while he was responding to a domestic disturbance. And in 2007, Deputy Jason Edward Mooney was killed in a single car accident while responding to another accident on Interstate 95. Deputy Mooney was only 24 years old. Both Deputy Humphrey and Deputy Mooney were committed to public service and helping the citizens of Stafford County. We are honored that they chose to make the Stafford Sheriff's Office such an important part of their lives, and we honor their memories, their service, and their friends and families who survived them. Now, the Sheriff's Office participates in National Police Week every year, most notably through the annual law enforcement ride. We had a team of riders from the Sheriff's Office who rode their bikes more than 250 miles from Raleigh, North Carolina, all the way to Washington, D.C., to honor fallen officers and remember their survivors. And I think that is quite a ride. So, if you know a law enforcement officer, please take a minute to thank him or her for their service. They truly make so many sacrifices to keep all of us safe. Okay, today we are going to talk about a law enforcement career. I had mentioned earlier that we have Captain Jason Dembowski here with us today. Now, Captain Dembowski has been in law enforcement for over 19 years and started his law enforcement career with the city of Fredericksburg. He also worked for the George Mason University Police Department, and then he joined the Spotsylvania Sheriff's Office before coming to Stafford County in 2013. He has served as a general assignment detective, major crimes detective, and was an inspector in the Internal Affairs Unit before he joined the Professional Standards Division. Captain Dembowski, you have had quite a career in law enforcement. Thank you for coming on today. And let's just jump right into this discussion and let me ask you, why should someone consider a career with the Stafford County Sheriff's Office?
Well, first, thanks for having me. And there's kind of 3 main points that I think that we really strive here with the Sheriff's Office, and that is working in the community that you live in, which can be so impactful, and that our agency really has a host of ways to for career advancement and professional advancement. And then we have state-of-the-art training and equipment that we provide to all our employees, especially our sworn folks here.
Well, let's talk about each of these a little bit more. You first mentioned that people can work in the community that they live in here in Stafford County. And in this region, so many of our citizens commute to Northern Virginia and Washington, D.C. for jobs with good salaries and benefit packages. But if they are interested in law enforcement, they can get that experience right here in Stafford, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, our agency right now is currently working through a pay study process, and our goal is to enhance the salaries of our employees. But on top of that, we do offer a comprehensive benefits package and benefits plan to include health and dental insurance. The employees have the ability to accrue annual sick and comp leave. And the longer those employees are tenured here, the more those accruals go up after years of service. They have the ability, they have 10 paid holidays. Two of those holidays are also floater holidays, so that means they get to use them kind of at their leisure throughout the year when it works best for them. And then obviously we are part of the VRS retirement system, so they have paid retirement under the Virginia retirement system.
Okay. And you talked about the tactile benefits of working closer to home here in Stafford, but let's take a few minutes and talk about some of the intangible benefits, such as no more long commute times, more quality time with family and friends. Can you describe some of the other advantages of working closer to home?
Absolutely. And I've done that. I've made that commute. I know how tough it is. So certain things such as, the wear and tear on your vehicles, the gas, you're spending your own money for gas, the maintenance on those vehicles. And I know I was averaging 20 or so thousand miles a year easy, just running up and down the interstate going to work.
Right.
And not to mention that if you think about it, you work an 11 and a half or 12-hour shift. Depending on when that shift is, if you get off in the middle of rush hour traffic, you're now 12-hour shift really is like a 15 or 16-hour day by the time you have to leave in the morning to get to your shift or the time you leave in the evening to get home. So you really don't have that quality time away from your family that you would have here by just saving on that commute, getting home at the end of your shift and being right here in the locality where you serve. And you have a lot more to take advantage of with that.
And it's almost as easy as just opening up your front door and you're almost at work.
Pretty much you are. I mean,
right.
You get right into your patrol car and you're on duty. You're coming to work.
And I was going to talk about that a little bit more. There is something to be said about serving the community in which you live, isn't there? Absolutely.
I think there's a great sense of pride in being able to see the impact that you're making on the community, your neighbors, the neighborhoods that you and others live in, and being able to see that the work you're doing on the street is making a direct impact and a difference on the quality of life for the citizens and the people the people that are your next door neighbors or going to school with your kids and whatever. I think there's a great sense of pride knowing that you have that ability to make that change and make that impact.
I agree with you. Let's talk about some of the advancement and professional development opportunities that the Stafford County Sheriff's Office offers its employees. Once people come aboard here, they have several opportunities to advance in their career. Could you talk about some of those?
Sure. So there's a couple different things that we have to offer. So first and foremost, we're a fast-growing department. We're a fast-growing county. So for someone to come on our department and be eligible to test for sergeant, they have to have 3 years of the Department of Criminal Justice Services qualified experience. So basically they have to be released from field training on their own for 3 years. And 2 of those years have to be with Stafford Sheriff's Office. And the reason we do that is so that if members from other agencies, end up joining our agency, they get credit time for that DCJS service, but they still have to kind of learn the geography and how Stafford kind of conducts business as police operations. But after that, they're eligible to test for sergeant. For detective, it's 3 years of Department of Criminal Justice Services, but they only have to be with Stafford for 1 year, for 12 months from their independent patrol release date, and they're eligible to test for detective. Now, if people aren't looking for those type of advancements, we do have a career development program, so they automatically progress through that. So 2 years from the day to hire, they get placed into the deputy first class and receive a stipend to their annual salary for that rank. 3 years of serving as a deputy first class, they get moved to senior deputy and get an additional stipend for that, or an increased stipend for that. And then after 3 years of serving as a senior deputy, they get moved to the master deputy level, and their stipend goes up even further for that rank. So just their time and years of service here with Stafford will progress them through those career development programs.
And there's also opportunities to train with state-of-the-art equipment. So not only do they have the opportunity to advance in their career, but they also have chances to get out there and test and train with the latest technology. Can you talk about that?
Absolutely. Our training section does a tremendous job with our training for our employees here. One, we have a state-of-the-art simulator, a Virtua 300 simulator that there's no words to really describe it. It completely immerses you in scenarios that are exactly what our deputies and field operations folks would see on the street. And it teaches them how to react to those situations, even little things as far as just being able to de-escalate those situations. So all their actions can then prompt what our instructors will do for the next step. So if they're handling a situation and working on de-escalating it, it may just de-escalate. However, if they don't recognize certain cues, that incident could certainly escalate into a deadly force situation. And then you're evaluating, all your reflex and how quick of a reactionary gap you have, all these sort of things that really are so important to what happens on the street. Not even to mention that, just even our standard in-service training, such as things like first aid, tactical emergency casualty care. it's not just sitting in a classroom. They go through scenarios, do hands-on practical applications, so that when they experience this in the field, it's not the first time they've actually done these things,
Right.
which is so vitally important in training, because you can teach off a PowerPoint all day long, but it's that hands-on practical application that really sinks in with our field operations and our patrol folks and everybody, quite frankly. And when they go out on that street, or it actually happens in real life, they know exactly how to act, and they've been through it before.
Right. You had mentioned the simulator, but we also have an excellent drone program that we have used to capture criminals and also look for missing persons. Can you talk about that a little?
Yes, ma'am. We do have it's just probably the leading drone program in the Commonwealth.
Right.
I mean, we have really, and our drone section has really done a great job as far as being on the cutting edge with that technology, and that's a continual progression. Technology is always emerging, and we are always staying ahead of that trend. But not even just on top of the drone program, even certain other specialty teams, our dive teams, SWAT teams, Honor Guard, we are always trying to make sure the equipment is up to date, professional, and it's meeting the needs of the service for those members on that team, and are always on that cutting edge.
Now, if somebody is interested in coming to work for us with the sheriff's office, do they have to have a background in law enforcement?
They do not. They do not. Our hiring qualifications, really, you have to have a high school diploma or a GED equivalent,
Okay.
and that's the kind of the educational background or even life experience background they have to have. That really is what we require, and a valid driver's license. And then once they're 21 years of age, they can apply online and really start that application process. So there's no requirement to have prior law enforcement or a degree in law enforcement or any of that. It's just a high school diploma or a GED equivalent, and they can apply to be a deputy as long as they're 21, or will reach 21 within the academy or something to that effect.
Okay. What about the type of people you're looking for? Talk about the character and maybe some leadership qualities that would make somebody stand out.
We are always looking for people that have a passion and a desire to serve the community. I know that we've talked about it here quite a bit, of having that servant's heart, and that's what we're looking for. We want people that have a drive and want to go out here and make an impact on the community. Mm-hmm. There's certain things we're going to teach them how to do police work, and we're going to teach them how to do patrol and things of that nature. But that's what we're really looking for, and those are the traits. And we always want to hire people that are going to uphold our core values and the high standards that we hold ourselves to each and every day, because they're going to be the future moving forward.
Right.
And we want to make sure that when we're hiring those people, we're hiring the best people for those positions that we know are going to carry those traditions and carry those values for years to come.
Let's talk about the hiring process for a little bit to give our listeners an idea of what a candidate would have to go through. I think it's important for them to understand that we are here to help them through the process.
Absolutely. So once a candidate applies online, they will start receiving an email from an email account called Sheriff HR for Human Resources. And we're going to be starting to invite them for testing. So right now our application process, it consists of a written test, and we always hold testing once a month. So on a Saturday, we have our written testing and our physical abilities testing on the exact same day. So we get two parts of it done right then and there.
Okay.
But when we make that invitation to them, they're also going to receive a packet. It's about a 28-page packet called a personal history statement. So they must complete that and have that notarized when they come to their written testing. Our written testing is a multiple choice exam that they must score 70% or greater on to move forward.
Okay.
And then once they complete that, then we'll run the physical abilities course, which taking so much time, but it's basically an obstacle course. It has different obstacles such as a 5-foot wooden wall, 150 pound body drag. There's a low crawl portion, and they have to be able to show proficiency in pulling the trigger of a firearm. So we make sure they have the hand strength and everything like that. Okay. And they must complete that course in 1 minute and 36 seconds. From there, we'll be reviewing those personal history statements to make sure everything is in line with our hiring directives. And then the next step is they'll actually have an interview panel with some of our command staff here. And we're looking for those people that have those critical thinking. It's not just why do you want to be a deputy. It's
right.
There's scenarios and there's things that we kind of put them through that we kind of get an idea of that critical thinking, that thought process. And that panel will make a recommendation. And after that recommendation, then we'll have them scheduled for a polygraph examination. At the completion of the polygraph examination, they'll move to the background investigation phase. And those backgrounds are reviewed through the chain of command all the way to the level of the sheriff. And if the sheriff signs off on those backgrounds, then I would be the one contacting them to issue an offer of employment letter, and then they would have their medical examination and a psychological examination before they actually start on their first day of employment. We get those taken care of.
How long, on average, is the hiring process from start to finish?
It varies. Sometimes it just depends on the timing of when the next academy is. So sometimes if the academies, we're working on those deadlines, we can get this done. And our staff here is always prepared to move quickly on applicants, because we don't want people standing in limbo. We want them to know that when they apply here, we are working to progress them through those steps and get them employed with our agency as quickly as possible. So we can get it done as quickly as in 2 to 3 months, and sometimes, depending if they're experienced, a certified law enforcement officer, that time can be even quicker because we've already had certain steps previously completed.
Okay. What specific jobs are available for interested individuals to apply for, and then how can they apply for the jobs?
Sure. So right now, the biggest need of our agency and the most jobs that are available are in our field operations division, our patrol deputies.
Okay.
Now, we do have a advertisement for a part-time deputy in our warrants division, which is going to be someone we're probably looking for already certified, just because there's not a part-time academy. And the same with our school protection officers. We're looking for certified candidates that would want to work in that role, just because of the nature of that job and the academy kind of restrictions and stuff like that, as far as finding a candidate that can do that job that's already certified. So for those that don't have any law enforcement experience, what we're looking for is for those individuals that are ready to work in our patrol section, our field operations section. And how they apply is they simply go to the Stafford County website and go under Human Resources, and then they'll see where it says Job Opportunities, and they click on that tab. It prompts them to a site called NeoGov, and they just create an account and apply online, and those applications then get forwarded to our section in professional standards, and then from there we'll be their direct point of contact as far as navigating through our application process.
Seems easy enough. Are there any tips or advice that you would like to provide to interested applicants?
In the years that I've been overseeing the hiring and stuff here, I think that the best advice I can give to people is just be yourself, be transparent, and be completely honest with the entire application and hiring process. Complete all your forms accurately and completely. And the biggest piece of advice, if they have a question or concern, call us. We will answer that question. We'll walk them through.
Right.
And certainly we don't want them to be uneasy about any step of this. So if they have a question or concern, they can reach out to us in a myriad of forms through that sheriff HR email. Come in and see us. We're here Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30, or just call our office, and somebody on staff here will make sure their question or concerns addressed.
Okay, so they should not be afraid to ask.
That's what we're here for, and we
Right.
encourage people. In fact, when we run every month, we run testing. That's one of the messages I'm relaying. If you have any questions to this process, do not hesitate to reach out to us.
Okay. Captain Dembowski, we had talked earlier about your long law enforcement career. Why did you decide to become a law enforcement officer?
I really just, in my high school tenure, I knew I wanted to serve. And then I ended up meeting somebody who was in a cadet program, and I got involved with that cadet program. And once I got involved with the cadet program, it was done. I was sold. I knew this is what I wanted to do as far as a career, and be out there, in a patrol car or obviously eventually in detectives, and just solving cases, solving crimes, and trying to make the best impact that I could on the community.
And why did you pick Stafford County?
I picked Stafford County because of the reputation here. This department is an extremely professional department. It has a high passion for serving the community, and just the nature of the environment that we have here. We truly value all our employees here. We are a family, and anybody that comes in our door and we hire, they're family from day one, and we always strive to do the best thing we can for all our employees here.
Yeah, I think it's so important for people to know, again, like you said, once somebody becomes hired with the sheriff's office, they're not just an employee. They are truly a member of our family.
Absolutely.
And that's how we treat them going forward.
In fact, anybody that's been in the police world, you hear people refer to them as their brothers and sisters, because that's really the sense of family that we have. When we're out here patrolling or working in our divisions, our job is to have each other's back and help each other get through each day, and whatever that mission is, whatever that objective is, or whatever that call is, and everybody gets through it, works together, and goes home at the end of every day.
Right.
So it really is a family.
This is a great time to talk about this topic because we are in a season where there are a lot of new college graduates, new high school graduates. So I'm sure that there are people out there, young adults, who are maybe contemplating a career in law enforcement. And hopefully we've answered some of their questions today.
Absolutely. I hope so. And please, I can't relate enough. Don't hesitate to reach out if they have questions. We will be here to help guide them in any way we can.
Okay. And they can either go to the Stafford County website or the Stafford Sheriff website to get some more information and to start that application process.
Yes, ma'am.
So thank you, Captain Dombowski, for joining us today. That wraps up this episode of In the Know with the Stafford SO podcast. Thank you for tuning in and have a wonderful day.
Thank you for listening to In the Know with the Stafford SO. Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Additional information about the Stafford Sheriff's Office may be found at staffordsheriff.com.